and Mike bring you into their world. It's not just chickens and the Angus herd. So take off your boots, relax, and go beyond the ranch.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Ranch. I'm Mike.
I'm Erin.
And what if I was to tell you that in the very near future, you may never be able to enjoy a T-bone steak ever again? And every piece of chicken that you have is going to be tough and nasty. Well, because of some recent ballot initiatives that may be going through in certain states, those facts may very well be coming to a grocery store or to a life near you. We're going to talk about that coming up today. Also, we have a special guest on the phone with us that's going to join us here in the program, and mail call coming up today on Beyond the Ranch. Thanks for coming and joining us once again. We're back.
Yeah.
It does. The new schedule does kind of throw me off just a little tiny bit.
Yeah, but it was so nice last Sunday.
It was kind of nice to
I missed
not have to worry about it.
I did miss it, but it was like really nice to have dinner with our family at a normal time. And then today at like 4:30, I'm just like,
we gotta go. You know what threw me off is I've been filming now for 2 days for Tuesday's video, and I think I might be filming for 2 more days, trying to finish up that video. But we were working in the shop, or I was working in the shop. You went to Home Depot for me and got some stuff, came back, and you came in the shop, dropped it off, and I was working away. And then you left, and you said, I'm gonna go get ready for Livestream.
Yeah.
And I looked at the clock in the shop, and it was 4 o'clock. And I was like, well, why is she getting ready 2 hours early? I didn't change the clocks in the shop because I'm so used to, apparently clocks do it for you nowadays. Yeah. And so then I just went back to work. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then finally it dawned on me. So Tuesday though, be ready for a big build. We have a lot of building that's going to take place for Tuesday's video. I
do think we're gonna have to change the time. Like, I know it's nice
on live stream again.
Yeah, I know it's nice for our East Coast folks to have it at 6 Mountain, but the problem is and now that daylight savings time has happened, we always struggle with this. We're still working.
Yeah.
And so it's like we don't eat dinner around this house till 8-9 o'clock at night in the summertime. Not good, but that's our reality.
It's great for you.
And so. To essentially like stop everything at like 5 o'clock and be like, okay, the cows need to get checked, kids need to get situated, and Mike needs to. Luckily, you scheduled live stream and everything before, but like.
Yeah, I did like 6 hours before live stream.
So it's just it's tough. So 7 o'clock seems to be like a little bit more calm getting into live stream. In fact, like at 6, I feel like we are extremely rushed.
Right.
So.
Yeah. If you watch the webcam at all, I think about half an hour ago, I rushed out to go and check cows really quick.
The reality is, once calving starts and stuff, like, I mean, I think we've always said this, like...
It never works for me. Every time I try to switch the view to the webcam, it always it shows up fine for us, but never shows up for anybody. Sorry about the black screen there, folks.
If we miss a scheduled live stream or we're late starting a live stream, it's because something is happening with calving.
Yeah, usually, yeah. In fact, I went out, like I said, and checked about a half an hour ago, and there's a couple out there that I'm like, we might be getting close to doing something. There was one that was, kind of standing out there with the tail hanging up, and I was like, maybe getting close to doing something. So, I think that we're gonna have some calves on the ground here before too long.
I hope so. I'm ready.
Definitely. And also the 30 and 30 is coming up here very quickly. First, before we start talking about the 30 and 30 and some other things that come along with it, I want to thank our moderators who are here with us tonight. Matt Fensel, William Dunn. I did see Lori Habel, I think, or Bill the Tractor Man, Lori Habel, and of course Zach Hewitt, another one of our moderators, hanging out with us all the time. The other big thing about changing time, and Bill has a good point, is later live streams are actually good for other farmers and ranchers too, because obviously out doing things.
I think that change will happen in April, in all reality.
Yeah, our next live stream will actually take place during the 30 and 30, which is starting on April 1st. Our first calf is technically due April 9th. I wanted to kind of give us a little bit of a buffer zone there, but we may be jumping right into the 30 and 30 and jumping right into calving. Who knows?
The next live stream is Easter Sunday.
Oh, crap. Really? Is that in April?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Well, Easter floats, but yeah, it's the first.
Easter does float. I don't know why that is. But anyway, yeah, so, okay, so I guess.
It's based upon the church calendar.
True. So
I have a bit of an illness, so please excuse my coughing.
It's not COVID?
No.
Even though when she coughs, she goes, COVID!
I haven't done that at all.
Kenzie does that all the time. She did that the other day, and I was just like, oh, I forgot all about that. She thinks it's funny, and she's done it in public a few times, which is always funny too. It makes me feel proud to have been awarded Dad of the Year whenever she does that, because people always give you a dirty look. They don't blame her.
No.
She has her own little weird sense of humor. They look at me and they're like, hey, But hey,
whatever.
That's great too. I also want to thank our new Patreon supporters for the last couple weeks. Cody Harris, a new Patreon, along with Lorena, and Carrie Sherrado actually doubled her Patreon. She was a patron before. She doubled her pledge to.
Carrie, are you here tonight?
I did see her. She was in there hanging out. That's why I'm making a big show of it. Carrie this week drove. This is crazy. Tell this story. This is insane. And then we're going to get into our topic for today, and then we'll be taking questions and all that kind of good stuff as we move along.
So Carrie and her family.
Carrie Sherrado, who is here, and she actually uses her real name in the chat. Totally bad idea tonight. Carrie Sherrado is here in the chat, or she was. Her and her husband.
Yeah. So they attended Ranch Roundup last year.
Yes.
Bought some beef while they were here in September. Loved it so much that they drove 1,000 miles this week to pick up more meat.
They drove from where they live near Seattle straight to us in one day.
Yeah. So like 16 hours, 15 hours, and then spent a night, came out and hung out on the ranch for the morning. Oh, thank you, Christy, and thanks, JB Weld. And then hung out with us for a couple hours, filled their coolers. We went to town and had lunch, and they went on their way.
Yeah, the kids, of course, get along with their daughter really well, and they were heartbroken. They were like, "We can't hang out." Like, what do you mean? They're turning around and going right back?
No, they were like on the way home. Lincoln's like, "Is she gonna come back out to the house? I really want to play with her." But thank you so much, Gary, to you and your family, and it was so nice to see you guys. And thanks for visiting the farm store and supporting our farm to plate endeavors, and we appreciate that tremendously.
Even though you are a little crazy. I mean, it's a long way to drive. She did buy a lot of meat. I'll give her that. Yeah. But yeah, it is. I mean, it shows how much people can really care about the ranch, which is very impressive to me because I never ever thought that would ever happen.
It is the furthest anybody has traveled very specifically for the farm store. People travel on their way through and pick up meat and stuff, but never anybody's traveled that far
just to come to
the farm store and then turn right back around. And Carrie also gets props for the biggest in-store farm purchase ever. So,
does she really?
Yeah, that was the most anybody's ever spent in the farm
all right. Heading back to these super chats really quick. JB Weld, $5 super chat, daylight saving times for live stream. Yeah, it makes sense. Spring ahead, fall back.
Yeah, we have to. I just don't.
It's hard.
It makes me
tough.
too frazzled, and I'm an anxious person, and if I'm like...
I don't know if you ever noticed that, but Erin can be a little on edge sometimes.
Can be a little high-strung, and so... And Sunday's a work day for us. I wish it was different. I wish it was like a chill day, but like that's not our reality.
Christy Dunham, $100 super chat. Thank you very much, Christy. Wow, I hope you guys are doing well down there.
You guys come visit again too.
Yeah, they've stayed in the farm. They've stayed in the Airbnb. And I was going to say they stayed at the farm store, but they didn't stay in the farm store. Nobody stays in the farm store. Steve Cameron, a $700 night. I don't know what.
$20.
I know it's $20. Directly south of Alabama by air. Do not change clocks. So mountain times. Yeah, I mean the time change thing, it's weird. Let's see. All right. So, Julie Dixon.
Thank you.
AKA Dr. Dixon. $50. I haven't seen you for a while.
Nice to see you, Dr. Dixon.
And from N. Lee, $10. The last 30 and 30 was really fun. Daily activity. There's a camera in my way. Daily activity may be chores for you, but is a great experience as viewers. I have talked to more subscribers in the last few days about the 30 and 30 because it is very much like it's what I do, right? Mm-hmm. So dragging cameras along with me is kind of like, if nothing happens, nothing happens. Yeah. I did get an email, and I didn't tell you about this. I did get an email the other day where somebody said, "Why don't you just do the 30 and 30 as a live stream every day?"
No.
And they said they didn't want much though. They only wanted it from 8 to 5. I was like, so you want me to live stream from 8 to 5? Every day for a month.
No, and it would kill the channel.
But then I wouldn't have to do the 24-hour live stream, he said.
Oh, cool.
So then I wouldn't have to do that.
No, you just 300 hours of live stream. But cancel that 24-hour live stream.
Yeah, and at 5 o'clock we're done. Boom. I would just shut it off.
It would kill the algorithm.
Oh, I don't care about that. It'd kill me. I'd be long dead and gone. No.
That 24-hour live stream, as much fun as it is, it's a huge invasion of our our real life, because like.
Well, we have to adjust because,
think
like,
you
if
had
you
to,
notice, like last year, I really didn't come in the house that much. It was
No.
just kind of a.
I think I made you put the camera down at one point, and I was like, "You have to eat something." I think I talked to the camera a little bit, and I think we also just put it outside
Probably, I don't
on
know.
something, and then like, yeah, you just watched the rabbits for a while.
When I slept for 45 minutes, yeah, that was fun too. Didn't put the camera on me and watch me sleep though.
No, that's creepy.
That would have been really
Somebody
weird.
would have wanted that though.
I guarantee it. Really, you just have to do live streams from 8 to 5 for 30 days. That would make me
Oh,
happy.
and
I'm
nobody's,
not asking for much.
nobody's going to complain about the audio or the video quality.
Never. Nobody ever does that.
Thank you guys all for the super chats. That will help the coffee fund and the beer fund to get my
I'm not
through.
to get me through it.
The 30 and 30.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. There was a Collins Lawn maintenance asked if we started calving yet. No, but we are getting close. The other thing that comes along with the 30 and 30 and this Sashina, the 30 and 30 also marks the arrival of tickets for the Ranch Roundup 2021. And if you subscribe to our newsletter or you are a patron, then you will actually get first access. Actually, patrons are going to get first access to tickets. Then it rolls into newsletter subscribers, and then it gets released out to the regular channel. So make sure you sign up for the newsletter at least. That's free. That doesn't cost you
If
anything.
you want VIP tickets, which will be Sunday's event. There is very limited access to VIP tickets. There's some people in the chat that were at last year's Sunday event, and so if you guys could tell us if you liked it or hated it, that would be great. But
It's too late to change anything.
don't
But cool.
tell us you hated it. But if
Actually,
you liked
tell
it,
us you liked it and then try to sell it to other people.
But if you want tickets to Sunday's event, because it is very limited access, I would highly recommend being signed up for either Patreon or the newsletter.
Yeah, and Patreon is $1 a month, so do it for a month and make sure that you get on the list because they went really fast last year. I think we had 50 VIP tickets, and basically what we did was we took a trip through the ranch. We had lunch right next to the cows. In fact, Matt Fensel, one of our moderators here, went out and caked the cows right along the fence. Everybody was able to hang out with the cows, eat some sandwiches, hang out with me. I think we had a drone flying around. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And just kind of a cool, kind of relaxed time. And of course, we got to hang out with Beckart Fencing. That was part of Sunday's deal because we went up and checked out what Beckart was up to, and I'm sure they're probably going to be doing something else. And this was all done on a hayride, so it was a lot of fun. So make sure that you at least sign up for the newsletter. You can do that on our website, ourwyominglife.com, and it should pop up for you. If it doesn't, scroll down to the bottom, and then you can sign up for the newsletter there. So check that out. Make sure you get that all taken care of. So, and for everybody else, tickets should roll out the first week in April. And then we're going to have live music this year, all kinds of cool new fun stuff coming up that I think people will really enjoy. And of course, it's ever evolving as we go along too. So Erin always says under promise and over deliver. So really all we're going to have is like hot dogs.
And some other stuff.
And some water to drink. You can drink from the hose. You can have some hot dogs, and you can drink from the hose. That's it.
And we'll have some bubbles for the kids to play with.
Yeah, there you go. Everything other than that is gravy. We're going to be cruising right along. Of course, our moderators are going to be there, so you'll have a chance to hang out with them in person because they're the ones that you really come to see. We'll be floating around. The kids, Bean, will be here this year.
It's like, what are we going to do with Bean?
I think we should have a kissing booth with Bean. Bean smiles, by the way. She started doing this thing that scares the crap out of people. And I wish I had her up here with me now. But she smiles, and it looks like she's going to take your face off.
Yeah, so Lexi, our lab, smiled mouth open, like a big kid smile. Bean smiles with her teeth.
Yeah.
Where she just opens like the very front of her mouth, and she doesn't open her jaw, and so she just shows her teeth.
It spooks people.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get a little scared.
I've seen other dogs do the same thing. But she, she's kind of scary, and she's, of course, we're working on manners and like not jumping on people, but she gets really excited, and she's really bouncy. She's a very bouncy dog. The other day when Carrie and her husband and daughter were here, Bambi was up at the gate that you can see just on the webcam. And she was eating a little flake of hay or something that had fallen off when you went out to feed. And so we were all petting Bambi, and then Bean kind of went under the fence, and you, I think, walked in the house to get your coffee or something, and Bean heard Bambi turn to leave, and then Bean was like, oh, I'll move her. Bambi was already going, but Bean just like bounced her way down the hill.
Just moving. Bambi's like, I'm going. I'm doing what I'm doing anyway. So
she's very bouncy. So
that's funny. Mary Ann Bertram, this is a compliment. Finally figured it out. Erin is the representation of Elvira. Remember Elvira? Elvira.
Thank you, Miriam.
Yeah, very cool. Alrighty, so we have a guest coming up that we're going to have here on the phone here in a few minutes. So we got to get into what we're going to talk about. We are going to take some Q&As and stuff. Q&As. We're going to take some questions and we're going to give you some A's a little bit later on in the show here. We also have mail call coming up, but right now we want to get to talking about why you may never be able to have a T-bone ever again.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is nuts. Erin brought this up to me this morning, and a lot of this I'm learning along with you. I kind of purposely didn't learn as much as I could because really I don't give a crap about politics, but also this is retarded. This is stupid.
So this is very specifically in Colorado, although I've heard that there's a similar thing that's not as severe, but potentially Oregon is looking at something somewhat similar. I don't know the specifics about Oregon. I've just heard about Colorado because obviously we're close to Colorado. So it's called Initiative 16. And it was formerly known as the PAWS Act, which is Protect Animals from Unnecessary Suffering and Exploitation. So it proposes changes to Colorado's animal cruelty statutes, and an initiative is being considered for the 2022 Colorado ballot. So it won't be until 2022. So unlike an act of a bill or a piece of legislation that is decided by committees and then legislators vote on it and then it becomes law, this is a ballot initiative, so it will be up to the citizens of Colorado. And I have all the steps here that it has to go on, and right now it's on step 5, which is title setting. So they are working, I guess the title's been set, although I couldn't necessarily find what the title is, but a clear title that explains what the act is, so that when it's on an election ballot, it'll be on the ballot in 2022, the title clears it. So there's 14 steps before it gets placed on a ballot. All right, so what is
it? Yes.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
So let me read all this. I'm not going to read all of it, but
No. Yeah. All
right. So
give us the gist.
I have two articles here.
Okay.
Okay. So it's written as a ballot initiative would include livestock and would criminalize some actions that are currently accepted as animal husbandry practices. All right. So
where do you want to start?
Yeah. So basically, it's saying.
We're just leaving you hanging. We're bringing the suspense here.
So this.
Let's talk about how old an animal has to be before it can be butchered.
So one thing about it is that an animal needs to live to 25% of its lifespan, its estimated lifespan, before it can be slaughtered. So I'm trying to look for just like a summary of the.
Well, you summarized it to me.
So the proponents say key goals of the initiative are to raise the quality of life for all domestic animals in the state, regardless of species, so dog, cat, cow, or pigs. Ensure animals are treated with dignity by changing the definition of the sexual act with an animal, and then require livestock to reach 25% of their natural lifespan prior to slaughter. All right, so this is where it gets real interesting. So, animal means any living, non-human creature, including, but not limited to, a dog, a cat, a horse, livestock, a certified police working dog, a police working horse, and a service animal, as those terms are defined, respectively, in subsections, blah, blah, blah. Livestock means bovine, camelids, I don't know what that is, caprine, equine, ovine, porcupine, fish, and poultry. So fish are also included in this. So this is where things are really going to hurt producers and the food supply chain and you guys as consumers. So natural lifespan for the following species shall be explicitly defined here based on statistical estimates. Average lifespan of a cow, they're saying, is 20 years. So it needs to reach 20.
5 years old.
Yep.
Before you could butcher a cow. Now, I say that you wouldn't be able to get T-bones because an animal has to be under 31 months old.
Under 30 months.
Under 30 months to actually take Why is that? Why is that? You can't get T-bones from anything older than 30 months.
Because meat has to be cut away from the bone at over 30 months, and I don't know the specifics. If anybody knows, I should know, but I don't know. Yeah, if you could put it in the chat. But if you butcher a steer over 30 months, which we've had some like sneak through at like 31 months just because we couldn't get processing in time. And yeah, then there's no T-bones, there's just New Yorks. All right, so a cow's going to live for 20 years. I believe that most of these lifespans are essentially animal abuse, because if you were to keep an animal alive for that long, their quality of life would be
horrible.
Miserable. Yeah. A chicken lives up to 8 years. I've never seen an 8-year-old chicken in my life. A turkey lives up to 10 years. A duck lives 6 years. A pig lives up to 15 years.
The older fowl gets, the older a chicken or turkey or anything, the older they get, the tougher they get as well. So like if a turkey lives to how long?
10.
10. So if you have a 2.5-year-old turkey, it's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
This is why like older birds become soup
chicken,
or stew.
A meat chicken. So chickens have to live for 8 years. So how old would a chicken be? About 2 years old?
About 2 years old, yeah.
A little over 2. You can't keep a Cornish cross alive for 2 years.
No,
it's
not a meat chicken. So you would have to change how.
Yes, you have to be forced into like a heritage breed chicken, which can live longer, or like a dual purpose bird, like a Buff Orpington or something that can lay eggs. But then if you butcher a 2-year-old chicken, a 2.5-year-old chicken, they go in the soup pot or a pressure cooker. Like there's no more Kentucky Fried Chicken with these birds.
We're gonna talk some more about this whole ballot initiative.
Yeah, it is. Melissa, you're absolutely right. It's cruel to grow meat chicken past 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, and we experience that. Their hearts give out, their legs give out, and so it would have to change not only how farmers and ranchers can produce livestock, but it has to change the entire breeding system of like what a meat chicken would have to be. They're designed to be finished in 8 to 10 weeks. That's what we've bred them to be. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to completely undo that.
Right. This is a perfect, we're going to talk more about this, and it's a perfect example of why people, these are legislators that...
No, I'm not done though. A pig is 15 years, a sheep lives for 15 years, and a rabbit for 6 years.
Right.
So.
This is what happens when people who fully don't understand agriculture are the ones that are making these laws. I understand how a plane flies, but I don't go up front in a 747 and say, hey, I'm going to need to fly this plane
Let's
for
talk
today.
about the sexual act with an animal real quick. Oh, you already called Zach.
Well, yeah, because never mind, I just hung up on it.
Let's just.
We're gonna get to it. I told him I would call him. So.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Zach, how are you? On the phone with us is Mr. Zach Hewitt. You may know him as a moderator here on the channel, but also he is a bit of a producer himself. Zach, how are you?
I'm doing good. I even pulled over.
Can you guys hear Zach?
You're getting pulled over?
No, I pulled over.
Oh, okay. I think you said I'm getting pulled over. Zach is actually on the road. He's driving to Albuquerque today. So if anybody happens to be in Albuquerque and wants to buy Zach dinner, he'll be there in a couple hours. But we wanted to bring him on the show because he actually ranches in Colorado, where this silly piece of paper came from. Zach, have you been following this? What is it called?
Initiative 16.
Initiative 16.
Yeah, Initiative 16. Yes, I have. And I'm sure most everybody in the West probably saw the proclamation yesterday, so it got a lot of attention this last weekend.
Right. Now, that was I don't know who made the proclamation in the first place, but okay, you explain it.
The governor declared May...
That would be our governor.
The Colorado governor declared March 20th as Meat Out Day, so he encouraged citizens to not eat meat. And then ranchers essentially declared it Meat In Day.
Right.
Right, Zach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I saw a lot of a lot of gatherings, a lot of agriculture groups then advocated for everybody to purchase meat, to barbecue, and then put together some in-person events where people could come and support producers.
Right. Yeah, in my local area, we had about 1,300 people show up at my butcher. Put the event on. They're a USDA butcher, and they had the couple of the cattlemen's associations was there. FFA was there. Farmer business was there. I think there was a newspaper showing there. Unfortunately, the 4-H could not be an official sponsor as they are a state-run organization and cannot go against the state.
Interesting.
Yes.
That's disappointing.
So do you think, Zach,
Very.
that I know that, the whole point of this from the governor was to, apparently bring awareness to vegetarians and vegans and that kind of thing. By ranchers pushing back against it, did it actually give, them more credence for what they were moving towards?
As far as the governor's platform,
Right. Yeah. I mean, it would have been something. It could have been something that just flown underneath the radar and would have been like no meat day, great. But producers got together and declared a meat day, which then of course, if you don't have without Pepsi, there's no Coke. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
unless you have opposition, it just kind of goes away.
yeah, I think there was a little publicity about it in the ag community, but what his proclamation did was put it at the forefront. A lot of social media. I've got friends on the Western Slope. I know one of our other moderators, William Dunn, was up at an event in Weld County, northern Colorado. My state rep had gone to, I think, 7 or 8 different events that day.
Wow.
And still had 2 more to go to at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Jeez.
I know Wyoming's governor.
Yeah, it got a lot of attention.
I know Wyoming, Nebraska, and Montana declared March 20th as meat-in days.
Right.
To support producers. And there may have been other states. Those are just the ones that I had heard
Every
about.
day is meat in day.
Yeah.
Do you really have to declare that in Wyoming? I mean, today is the day we're going to breathe air.
Yep. And there were lots of folks like me, either small producers all the way up to some of my county's biggest ranchers who probably have multiple freezers full of meat, but they showed up to support this and to get the awareness out. Good publicity, hopefully, and hopefully we can get folks to actually read what goes into this initiative.
And that's one of my biggest points with this is that obviously I think it's written by people who have never seen a cow, or at least have never been around a cow. They don't, I mean, it reads like a fairy tale almost to a point. And Erin's going to now talk about some of the more ridiculous things that are within this that could change the industry completely. So there's a sexual, we're going to make this sexy. There's a sexual component to this whole thing,
yes.
Which I really, when you started, I thought you were kidding. I thought you were making it up, honestly, when
No.
you started telling me this. It sounds like make-believe.
So YouTube will probably demonetize us for talking about these things, but we're gonna talk about these things. So part of this Initiative 16 is that a sexual act with an animal means an act between a person and an animal involving either direct physical contact between the genitals of one and the mouth, anus, or genitals of the other. Sexual act with an animal also includes any intrusion or penetration, however slight, with an object or part of a person's body into an animal's anus or genitals. Okay, great. No farmer or rancher is messing around with their cows or their horses in that manner. But if we start to think about how this actually impacts us as producers, it means no ultrasounds, no palpation. Yeah, no pregnancy checking, no checking to see if an animal is in heat. It means no, when we had that steer that had an anal prolapse, no putting that back in.
No touchy.
No touching that. Castrating, you can't touch genitals, so we cannot castrate our steers. Cannot castrate a horse. Cannot spay an animal, which cow and horse spaying is rare, but it is sometimes done. Any of that will be illegal. And then a sexual act with an animal may be proven without allegation or proof of penetration. So someone just has to accuse you, and you're now guilty. Nothing in this subsection shall be construed to prohibit any person from dispensing care to an animal in the interest of improving that animal's health. And they crossed out accepted animal husbandry practices. So it doesn't clearly define what is, in my opinion, it doesn't clearly define what is an okay, and what is an act done to improve animal health. And that can be subjective. A vegan is going to say you shouldn't castrate a bull. A rancher is going to say you should castrate a bull.
Probably a good idea.
So
Yep.
yeah. So
And assisting, we talked about earlier, but assisting pulling the calf, pulling a foal, lambs, goats, anything like that, where the kids, 4-H kids are having, their market animals affected by this potentially.
Right.
yeah, and so what it's going to do, and what's going to be, if this passes, and I think this is a long shot, and Zach can probably explain talk about like if he thinks it's going to pass, but it's also Colorado, and like next step is they have to get 125,000 signatures. Well, I watched a video about this, and the person talking was like, well, they just need to stand out a coffee shop outside in Boulder,
Right.
and say, please sign this to prevent animal abuse, and everyone's going to sign it. But without clearly defining what is okay care, you're going to leave things up to be very subjective, and it's going to harm producers. But if we now have to take every steers are typically butchered at 24 months, and now we can't do that till they're 5 years old, there's going to be no more Colorado-produced
Oh yeah, it'll
beef
put a
or
halt to
chicken
that right away.
for years.
The bad part is, and I maybe it's the good part, is the fact that there are huge lobbyists that take care of meat producers. And I mean, this could be very well where this gets shut down is, factory farms and these huge, there's lots of money in there. Zach, you know Colorado better than anybody. How do you see this going down the pipeline?
Well, I can definitely, based on the previous wolf initiative that went through and got passed, I can definitely see them getting the signatures required. I don't know. There's got to be a time frame on how long they have to collect signatures. I'm not 100% sure on that. That would be the only thing I would think of that they may not be able to get the signatures on. But what they're doing is they're trying to pass it off as that some sort of sexual abuse of animals.
Right.
And that's where they get people. They don't read the bill. They don't know how it's defined in the legalese terms. All the cattlemen's associations are putting their lawyers on this, though.
Right. So give us a 1 out of 10. Like what are the odds that this might happen? I'm not going to hold you to it, and we're not taking odds or anything.
I'm leaving.
Place your bets now.
30 to 40% there. Too close to the borderline to not get involved.
Right. And if this did go through, how would it affect you as a Colorado producer?
I can't see either keep staying in the cattle industry or staying in Colorado.
Yeah. I think you'd see like a mass exodus.
Out where I'm at, I'm 20 miles off I-25, but from where I'm at east to the Kansas border, it's all cattle country, really.
Mm-hmm. I honestly can say, like, I never thought I'd live in a country where I had to worry about the difference between male and female and everything else that follows. Like, this is something that I could see. It's almost scary enough to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Yep.
Gender identification is what it is, and that is the world that we live in. But when you start saying that sexual abuse is happening in animals, when we're just caring for our animals and helping keep them alive, like, we've crossed a boundary that's not appropriate.
Right, and you mentioned earlier, like, a cow can't give you permission to go fiddle with whatever. But
a steer that has, or any animal that has a prolapsed uterus or a anus, like, they're going to want that to be put back in.
Well, yeah, I imagine she would be fine with that.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Just leave it out. It's fine.
If you have a calf or a foal that's stuck and you don't assist, that's abusing that animal.
There you go. I think that's where it falls, yeah.
taking care of udders if there's mastitis or, you know,
Yeah.
it can go.
Oh my gosh, I never thought about this, but when you milk a cow, you're basically playing with her hoo-haws. Like,
Yeah.
are we not going to be allowed to get any
I don't
Colorado
know.
milk anymore?
I didn't see
And
anything.
there are dairy farmers in Colorado too, so.
Yeah, I mean, are you
know.
going to have? I mean, is she going to have to sign a waiver? I mean, can a cow sign a waiver and say, "Hey, it's cool"?
So here's kind of the summary of what will happen to Colorado. So Colorado would realistically lose $5 billion in livestock sales, as well as eliminating multiple thousands of jobs, destroying rural communities and schools, and lay vacant hundreds of thousands of acres of regenerative but non-tillable natural resources that right now are being utilized to feed an ever-increasing population. Colorado would lay aside 2/3 of its second largest industry in agriculture and severely hinder a majority of the rest of its agriculture producers.
Yeah, but hey, you can grow pot. You're cool.
Yep.
One of the bigger meat packing plants is here in northern Colorado also.
Yeah.
And then something I didn't think of until I was talking with my wife about this earlier, but for anybody out west who knows what the National Western is, it's one of the largest stock shows in the West. Coincidentally, they canceled it, even not allowing limited attendance, or even just having the attendees who show and sell there. And it kind of gave me pause to think, ironic, is that coincidence with this initiative coming in, that one of the biggest agricultural events in Colorado was postponed or, taken off the books?
I honestly don't think there's no such thing as coincidence anymore.
No.
We look at Meatless Monday or whatever the hell it's called, and and then this comes out, and then like you said, they canceled the show, the National Western. I mean, and that's a huge trade show. There's more than just rodeo and that kind of stuff that happens there. I mean, it's huge for many different companies that aren't able to do anything, especially and coming off the coattails of COVID and the ramifications from that. It's huge it's a huge hit for agriculture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for some of these kids that have market steers, you're talking about, maybe 2 years worth of their college tuition that they may raise at the auction.
Exactly.
So
I hear you.
It could be devastating for some kids as well as the whole ag community.
So, Erin, do you have anything in your paperwork that shows like where you can write to stop this from happening? What are the next steps that we can do?
It's going to come down to the citizens of Colorado. So.
This doesn't even have anything to do with the governor's office, does it?
No,
this is all going around about.
Because it's a bit.
It doesn't have anything directly to do with the governor's office, but his husband, significant other, whatever you want to call him, is a vegan and is very, very supportive of measures like this.
Mm.
Yeah,
so there's some heavy Democratic influence there.
Right.
We're on, Colorado's on step 5 of 14. So then there's revisions, rehearings, appeals of title board decisions, and then step 9 is signature gathering.
Even if it doesn't make it through all these 14 steps, there's other states. There's Oregon, there's Illinois, there's California. There's other states that I think that will see this and take it and run with it. I honestly feel like this is letting an amateur fly the plane. That if you're going to do something like this, you need to know what you're talking about and how this affects industries as a whole and how it affects families all the way down. Don't you agree, Zach?
Yep. And there was more than one association that invited the governor to attend an event. Whether he did or not, I don't know. I did see some news clips that he kind of laughed it off, how he's being called the meat salesman of the year in Colorado, and talked about how he did a good thing by supporting some of the portions of it. I understand he's not fully supporting the initiative as written, but there is parts there that I think he supports with his meat out day.
Exactly. Zach, we're going to let you go. I know you're on the road and I know you're busy. So, and it's probably, I don't know what time zone you're in nowadays because Arizona.
I'm in the mountains.
Okay, Arizona's weird. So, or you're heading to New Mexico, so never mind.
New Mexico.
Yeah. So anyway, we will let you go. Thank you for coming on with us
I'm
today.
gonna go get myself a burger and then hit the road.
Eat beef.
Get yourself a burger with a side of burger.
Burger.
Yeah.
Double burger.
No doubt. Thank you, Zach. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Have a good night.
So, thanks, Zach. There's something I want to say. So cows have been villainized in the environmental messaging that has been going on for the last several years. And there is no denying that methane is a byproduct of cattle agriculture.
Right.
But what cattle do is they take low quality grass that is not forageable by many other animals, and they turn it into a nutrient-dense, low-calorie food. There is no denying that. Beef is very healthy for you. Lean beef is extremely healthy for you, and it helps feed the world. And if we continue to villainize animal agriculture, we are going to starve to death.
No
and
doubt.
that is the reality. Vegetables are amazing. I love vegetables, but they're very they're nutrient dense, but they're they're not calorie dense. You have to eat huge volumes of lettuce, or you can eat 4 ounces of beef. So if we want to spend all day eating, which is what cows do, literally take nutrient deficient, calorie deficient food, grass, and they turn it into beef. If we all are going to become vegan and vegetarian at some point, we're going to have to consume a lot more volume in order to reach the calorie requirements and the nutrient requirements that we need to have. And you have to take supplements as a vegan, or you can just eat some beef. So,
Lincoln, how are you?
you want to have steak for dinner?
I want to eat.
Okay, we'll eat when we're done. Go downstairs and have a
It's like, I'm
snack.
hungry. You talk about all this food.
That's why Lincoln came up here. He said he's hungry. Go tell your sisters that you're hungry, or go get some chips.
I want noodles.
Okay, I'll cook you noodles.
I want noodles.
Yeah, and cows do provide fertilizer, which then can help grow other crops. So, yeah, we need animal agriculture within our ecosystem.
Right.
All right, can you go downstairs?
Yeah.
And I'll make you doodles when we're done. I'm going to sneeze.
Here. How about this?
No.
Beef jerky.
No.
You don't want beef jerky? You sure?
Yeah.
I'll hook you up.
Okay, can you go downstairs? Okay, or you have to sit here and you have to be quiet.
Okay. Oh, that was fun. Thank you, Zach, for actually giving us a perspective within your state, and as far as it sounds so. 5 years ago, I would have thought it was completely made up. Like, why would anybody even think that way? I could see, the animal husbandry thing, and that they're now gonna, they could come down and say, hey, a vet has to perform any of those functions, but I'm not gonna be able to get a vet out here to pull a calf. No. That calf will die because I'm not allowed to intervene.
Yeah. Also,
tying hands like that is not what we need.
And also, we hear a lot about regenerative agriculture and no-till agriculture and lessening our carbon footprint to produce food. We don't till any land except for my gardens, which is required for vegetable. And I could go no-till, but all of our hay grounds and our pasture is all no-till native prairie grasses that has a diverse ecology and tons of bugs, different birds. We're not a monocrop culture here where it's prairie and grasslands, and it's a thriving environmental diversity out there, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Like, it's very natural, and
I
cows are just part of that ecosystem.
Can you see your name up there? I think he smiles every time somebody types his name.
Matt says you want a Pop-Tart.
You want a Pop-Tart? No. Okay. Yeah, this video will be available after the live stream ends, hopefully. Our last week, or last time we had our live stream, so what happens is the live stream saves to YouTube. YouTube then uploads it. There was actually an error in the upload. It uploaded about half of it, and then it failed. So they ended up pulling that whole thing. So hopefully today, all of our entire live stream is able to go up there. Alrighty, guys, coming up here in just a moment, we're going to get Lincoln.
Mail call?
We're going to do mail call. Let's do mail call. Mail call is your chance to get whatever you send us on the air during our live stream. We appreciate everything that's sent to us. Of course, you can send a letter, a note, whatever you would like to P.O. Box 667, Gillette, Wyoming 82717. Here, I've got a little stack of stuff here. We are still doing license plates. I'm guessing that's what this. I didn't even open it. I didn't even open it because I kind of had a feeling. It's like when it's like at Christmas, you know, when you shake it and you're like, oh, that's socks.
Yeah.
You know, this is definitely a license plate. The license plate wall is still growing fast, and I have license plates that need to go up on there.
Jake, when are you going to come and hang
yeah,
license plates?
Jake needs to hang license plates.
Thank you, William, for being here. Enjoy your steak.
This is actually from Roy Rogers, not that Roy Rogers, different Roy Rogers. But we're going to take a look at this, and there's a nice little note in here. Looks like it's from North Carolina.
I love how delicately people.
I know, they're very nice about this. North Carolina license plate, of course, to go up on the wall.
Here, can you hold
There you
this?
go, Linky.
Make yourself useful.
And there is a note along with it here. I haven't read this yet, so hopefully it's not obscene. Keep up the good work, Roy Rogers.
Thanks, Roy.
Thank you, Roy. We appreciate it. That's going to definitely go on the wall. Also, one that Erin got not too long ago in the mail.
So there was no note or anything, and it's from Melanie Zer from Arlington, Washington. At least that's what I'm assuming. That's the name on the address, but there is, like I said, there was no note. So if you're wondering why I'm sick. So I got this sign, and it says, I rolled my eyes so hard, I checked out my own
Ass.
It's
not a bad word when you're talking about, you know, the animal.
Yeah, that's why.
Because it's in crosswords. I've seen it in crossword
That's
puzzles.
why they put the donkey on there.
In case nobody knows what this is all about, Erin tends to roll her eyes occasionally.
So,
not that I would ever notice.
Melanie, if you're the person that sent me this, and that's not just like the person who like makes these signs, maybe you make these signs. I don't know. There's no note in here, but thank you very much.
No, they're made by 5 Acres Creations.
Okay, you're right. So
yeah.
5 Acre Creations on Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, and 5acrecreations.com created this, but I believe it was sent from Melanie. Thank you.
Also, this is pretty impressive. Sometimes we get things that really blow our minds. And not because they're worth a lot of money or anything like that, but a lot of it comes from the amount of work that goes into things and people that want to share their work with us. This one is from Cody Harrison. Definitely a fan of our Wyoming Life. Has 3 daughters who are also fans of the animals and just wanted to thank us for the family content that they enjoy so much. Cody runs a construction company by day, but tinkers around with just a little bit with woodworking at night. And Cody was very nice enough to send us some examples of his woodworking. Now, if this is tinkering with woodworking, I am like wandering around with my eyes closed, bumping into walls, and which is pretty much what I am anyway. Of course, these things always come in handy. They work on twist tops too, by the way.
You want to hold it?
That would be a bottle opener, but this is a bowl. I don't even know how to make this. I'm sure somebody does.
Well, you gotta like glue some wood together, and you gotta cut out some wood, and then you gotta sand it, and...
Sure. She makes it sound so easy. Cody, really, all you had to do was glue it together and cut it out. Come on, man. It's like construction paper. A bowl.
Hold that. That's your job. Hold it up so that people can see. See?
This one I'm kind of leery to give to Lincoln because this could be considered a weapon. Do you know what this is? No?
Here, okay, hold the next thing. It's called a rolling pin. Don't hit anybody.
Again, I'm guessing Cody has a lathe. And then last but not least, a very heavy cutting board. Cody did send some of what this is. I guess I could read it. So the cherry-handled bottle opener, maple and walnut end grain cutting board, oak and walnut bowl and a rolling pin made from oak, walnut, cherry, and maple. Now, he does say that he doesn't care what we do with it, whether we use it, sell it, give it away. So there is a good chance that you may see this at Ranch Roundup, maybe. Maybe Cody would like to donate it to EPP. It could be auctioned off.
I think there's some things that I'm going to keep, and then there might be some things that maybe don't like in a silent auction at some point. So, yeah.
And Cody, I guess, is a fan of the live stream. He may not be here tonight, but he did have a question that we may have covered, but he can't find a video of. He would like some insight as to what it actually takes to sell cattle. Once up to weight, what is required to be able to sell them? Where do you sell? Do you need licensing to sell? Are there certain things you must do first? Call the sales barn. That's what we do.
If you're selling calves, yeah. When we take our steers to be processed, we call the brand inspector.
Yeah.
Okay, then go downstairs. Okay, go. Go. Get out of here. Go. Okay, then hush. Go get a snack.
Go eat. So, yeah, thank you very much, Cody. I know that really doesn't answer your question, but, really, there's not a whole lot to it.
No, you don't have to have you don't even have to have an LLC or anything to raise animals. So, yeah. And to sell them, you just call the sales barn or you call the brand inspector and you fill out a little bit of paperwork. There are some forms required if you're crossing state lines. But if you call your sales barn, they'll tell you what paperwork you need to bring with you.
Yep, exactly.
And it's really simple. But, I guess I never thought about that either. I guess, I didn't know how you did it.
It probably seems more complicated than what it seems. I don't know.
Yeah.
From Kim, Lincoln, I'm going to tell Santa your wish list. You have a wish list? And how does Kim have it?
He's got a birthday wish list.
He does. He has an Amazon wish list that we showed him how to do the Amazon wish list thing. Don't ever show a 5-year-old how to do the Amazon wish list because Amazon called and they were like, hey, we only have so much storage space. Got to stop it. Stop having this kid put stuff on his wish list. You have a big wish list. Alrighty, we're heading into that portion of the show. We're going to take some questions, give you guys some answers. If you have anything, just throw it on up there. While we get some up and rolling, the legislation that you see here, does it scare you at all, or are you just like, this is stupid, this is never going to happen?
I think it's pretty highly ridiculous. Nothing's happening in Wyoming, but I do worry that if it does pass in one state, that there will be a trickle down effect, and other states will adopt. What are you doing? Something similar. I would hope states where animal agriculture is a huge part of our economies, that people would take a step back and take some time to educate themselves as to how this will really affect producers and themselves as consumers. Because although we're all animal advocates, very few of us are vegetarians or vegans, and this will directly impact our food supply chain.
Yeah.
And that affects 98% of Americans. And I don't like seeing empty grocery store shelves, and we've seen it happening on and off for the last year, and I'm over it. So please, before you go into a voting booth and you check mark things, please read those initiatives, read those things that are on the ballots, do your research about the people that we're electing, and make sure that they're going to represent your interest.
Exactly. Quick question here from EZ1913. His name's Eric, by the way. Who is the first cow due? Lincoln. Who's the first cow due? You know this. I know you do because we've been talking about it. Which cow is going to have a baby?
24.
184. Now, whose cow is 184?
Mine.
Yours. What's her name?
Baldy.
Baldy. Baldy is her name, and she is hopefully the first cow that's going to have a calf, and Lincoln will be right out there with her.
Have you gone and checked her today?
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, let's take some questions. Do you give ranch tours when someone stays in the Airbnb? We do ranch tours in the summertime at 8 a.m. and you can get in on that if you stay here through Harvest Host. Harvest Host is a RV type deal that if you're hooked up with them, they have us on their list, and they have a link, and you can book, and you can stay on the ranch in your RV, and we do ranch tours, mainly just around the home part of the ranch here.
Just a quick 30-minute.
Right, walk around tour, and we do those in the morning.
You stay at the Airbnb, not like officially, no?
We've never done anything, but I mean, yeah. I mean, we figure something
no.
out. Yeah.
It is spring break this week, so all the kids have had colds, and it's been spring break, which is nice. Last year at this time, they didn't go back to school. Very happy that everyone's going back to school
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yay, school tomorrow.
Caden has a question for you. That shiny little tractor in the shop, what's up with that?
Oh, I don't know.
There is if you've been watching closely, there's not only a shiny little tractor in the shop, there's also a shiny little John Deere Gator, cute little thing. What's up with that?
Edible Prairie Project, the nonprofit that I founded and run, we received a grant for infrastructure, and so we were able to purchase a tractor and a gator along with a lot of other stuff.
A lot of stuff, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so thank you, CARES funding.
Yeah, and what is CARES funding?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean,
bad question.
It's part of one of the stimulus packages to help. Yeah, so we provided, it was all infrastructure, and yeah, we got to buy things like tractors and garden trays and harvesting aids and stuff like that. So.
Yep. Exactly. Mr. Wacky Mikey, how's the Gator running after the slide? Just fine. It may need a new front end. I'm just kind of putting that out there.
No, it has like transmission problems.
Yeah, there's some sort of issue happening there.
It was making like a weird clicking the other day.
Yeah, Lincoln and I ran into that a couple times. We were out checking cows and it started making like a weird sound, and then we had to stop, and then it fixed itself, and then we were able to go again.
You said you need to tighten the line that.
The transmission. Yeah, hopefully it's something small. Let's leave it at that, because
maybe you should work on it before you start calving.
I probably should.
Just an idea.
Can you work that into my schedule somewhere? Be great. Let's see. How many male or female peacocks do you have, Erin?
I think we have 2 males and 1 female.
And I got some really good video, and I think I'm going to try to squeeze it in on Tuesday's video, because I've never been able to catch it on film before. Is when the peacock is really showing, when the male peacock's really showing off for the girls, and he shakes his tail feathers, literally. He shakes and makes a rattling noise. It sounds like a rattlesnake.
Yeah, I mean, because their feathers are hollow, and so yeah,
he makes this noise. He didn't know I was behind him.
And when they go out, it makes a noise too.
But he didn't know I was behind him, so he was at the bottom of the barn, in between the barn and the pigs, trying to impress his girlfriends. So I snuck up behind him, and he was going to town. And I don't think I've ever gotten it on film before, so I think I'm gonna try to squeeze it in the video somehow. We'll try to make it work, but yeah, definitely. Let's see. Taking some questions. You do get a free piece of pizza. You stop by on Mike and Erin's anniversary. Half a piece. We changed the rules on that one. Get a half a piece of pizza.
And nobody knows when our anniversary is.
Thankfully. Russ Meredith, have you decided to purchase the hay feeder, the Hustler bale processor? No. It's a little...
You guys, moderators, you can just block those people that are constantly giving you problems.
Yeah, feel free to just boot them. Probably, I don't know. Probably, I don't know.
We don't really have to buy it.
No, I mean, our hope is that Hustler is happy enough with us that they let us use it. I mean, really, that's the hope. But
or let us use if there's a new one that comes out, or like as things they have different styles of them. They have one that goes on the front of the tractor versus the back.
Yeah. From what I've heard, more than likely the one that we have, when we're done feeding, it'll go back to the company and they'll be able to sell it as a used machine. Is what I think is going to happen. So.
Simply using it for demonstration purposes.
Exactly. Any thoughts on hay harvest this year?
That's bad.
My gosh.
Please pray for rain or snow.
Yeah, no doubt. If we don't get some sort of moisture, we're going to be in trouble. You can check out the webcam on our it's nowhere near what it's supposed to be. So. Mike, you better fix the gator.
I don't know, winch didn't work.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I did. I can't remember.
Microphone cord, please don't pull on that. Yeah, you're best.
And then we're gonna call it a night, I guess.
Because we do.
Are you a pest, Lincoln?
Wow.
Go get a snack.
All he wants to do nowadays is play outside.
Outside.
All day long, plays outside. So.
Are we having streaming problems?
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah, refresh. We need to refresh. Still have to finish filming a video for Tuesday. What do you have going on this week? Anything fun?
I have to.
Things are happening. YouTube has given us the flashing.
Talk.
More than likely.
I bet we're demonetized.
Thank you guys. You guys have a great night. We should be a lot of fun. It's a big build video. It's taken 3-4. Share the video as well. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for
Access to Ranch Roundup tickets.
Ranch Roundup tickets coming very soon. Heading out. And Lincoln, you want to say goodnight?